Good morning. I'm Catherine Ross with TheStreet here with Jim Cramer.
Good morning.
How are you?
Well, you know, it's Friday, so I'm thrilled, and I want to tip my cap to David Taylor, the CEO of Proctor. Almost every single category up. His plan is working. Even Gillette's doing well, and it is great to see a nice man come up with a plan that is doing a good job. So my hat is off to David Taylor.
You were just tweeting about Proctor and Gillette, right?
Yeah, well, I just think that the Dollar Shave Club subscription has peaked. I think Proctor's gotten rejuvenated and energized, and it's a great American company, and I've always said you can own Proctor. I've always said it. Proctor was probably one of the first stocks I ever told people to buy when I was at Goldman, and I reiterate, I mean, great balance sheet, fabulous return to capital, big dividend. It's not too late. I don't tell people to buy things up 5, but it's going to go up considerably from here.
So I really enjoyed your real money piece this morning, the one about inflation, the Fed.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think that the fourth industrial revolution, which I've talked to you about, what is going to happen and what the Fed is uniquely, because it's very East Coast centric, the Fed is not taking into account the disruptions that are going on from the software programs and the hardware programs in Silicon Valley. And one of the things we keep saying, well, we're full employment. Well, if you ever notice on the Friday numbers, non-farm payroll, there is always 200,000 jobs created. So it's obvious that there are people, and a lot of people are displaced. Now, there are shortages in the Permian, shortages in New York, shortages in San Francisco. In terms of workers, we've got some shortages in the Midwest, Indiana, Wisconsin's got shortage. But I also point out that the disruptive impact of tech is not being taken into account by the Fed, and that the Fed should do a bus tour to Silicon Valley.
One of the lines that I liked the most was that you said that you would like to join the Fed if they'd have you.
I would very much like to join the Fed. I'd just like to, or give them a presentation and just say, look, guys, here's why I think you're wrong. Why don't you let a dissenter in? And at least give you another side. 11 years ago, I was right, and previous Fed people laughed at me. I've known Mr. Powell, he's terrific. And I just wish I would have a time to address. They can, I take 40 minutes of their time. 40 minutes, and just say, listen, you got to sit down with me. Here's 5 people you have to sit down with who would explain to you what's really going on, and you recognize that there are perhaps 3 million checkers that are about to lose their jobs because of the ability to be able to self-check, which is going to be done by Bezos, which is what I think ultimately you're going to see as a laboratory of Whole Foods. There are the programs that a Workday comes up with, what a ServiceNow comes up with. These are, you say that they streamline, but what they really do is marginalize because people cost too much. Now, those people who cost too much, they need to find jobs. I mean, look around here. Look around the floor of the exchange. What are these people? Where are all the people? Well, the answer is they were displaced. They were displaced by technology. Technology is a vicious force. It's a good force and a vicious force. And if the Fed were to read my piece this morning in Real Money, I think that they would say, let's have the guy in. But they have so much pride, and they did too in 2007. Institutionally, they won't do that. And it's a shame. I mean, I'm not necessarily wiser than everybody on the Fed, but they should have disparate voices come in and talk to them. It would show me that they are more serious and more rigorous. They have faux rigor at the Fed, and there's no place for faux rigor, not at that level of our government.
One of the other things I want to ask you about, it's the anniversary of Black Monday.
Yes.
And I think that it's really important for younger generations to understand what they should do if there was another market crash, because inevitably there will be.
Let's talk about that crash, because I was in cash for it. I was working with Cramer. What we were doing was we were looking at insurance policies that they were guaranteeing. There were some outfits that were total charlatans, and they were saying you'd be stopped out on these multi-billion-dollar portfolios if you take portfolio insurance. And that backfired, and that was the acetylene that caused the market to go from 2,700 literally to 1,200 in just a few days. My friend Jim Stewart won a Pulitzer Prize, good piece about Eddie Lampert today, Pulitzer Prize, because he dissected all the different shenanigans that occurred. the Treasury put out a report that was very well thought out about how the floor of the exchange let everybody down. Nobody was really worried. People didn't understand the influence of Chicago and the futures over common stock. The reason I mention all this is because the crash had nothing to do with the economy. The economy actually was doing quite well. It had to do with the way the stock market worked. So it was a tremendous opportunity to buy. It was the last great opportunity to buy before we had this remarkable run. And then, of course, we had 2007, 2009. So if we had a crash again, and if it had something to do with the economy, what I call systemic risk, like we had in 2007-9, that's not a buying opportunity. If it was just literally because of the mechanics of the stock market in 2015, the flash crash, 1987, those were great opportunities.
Thanks for that insight, and I really want to talk to you more about that. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, but we've got, it's doing great.
Well, this is Proctor. I do think that, and we'll touch it on our conference call next, Honeywell is a buy, not a sell. Schlumberger, I didn't talk about it on market on Squawk, but wow, there are just so many good reports today. But anything connected with the Fed, rate rise and tariff are getting hit.
And this is all stuff that we're going to be talking about on our next video for Action Alerts Plus members.
And I don't know if we're up, trying to get, there's some clips from yesterday's conference call that are up that a lot of people said were really good. So I'm urging people to trial Action Alerts. We do offer a monthly club call, and this was one that I got the most positive feedback on, so I'm thrilled about that, in addition to all the bulletins that we put out. So if you sign up, you can watch the call, and the call is really, I was proud of it.
I thought it was great.
Huge amount of time on these calls, man. My wife hates it when we get near the calls. So I said, don't bother me when you're the call.
All right, thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
I'm Catherine Ross of TheStreet. I'll see you guys on Monday.